Hello viewers, here is a set of Panasonic telephones. This is the model KX-TGD583, and I figure I'll open the box on video because it's very seldom that I buy a new product, new, not used, new, unopened from the manufacturer. I bought this primarily for the curiosity of the waterproof phone, because now that the Union waterproof phone has been out of manufacture and sales here in the US for many years, it's becoming hard to find, and since it's getting to be kind of a rarity, I hate to keep using it in an abusive environment as my outdoor phone where it's getting wet and dirty and dropped and whatever. So I figured if this Panasonic phone turns out to be a viable replacement, perhaps I'll use this instead, and I'll leave the Union phones in the bathroom and in other areas where they're not going to get ruined. So this is a 3-handset system. I bought it like this because it was a much better deal to get the other 2 handsets in the base. The waterproof phone itself I think was about $60, and it was only a little bit more expensive to get the other 2 phones, so I figured why not get the other 2 phones. So, this is a very basic box, which I like. From my experience, the products that have the basic boxes rather than the flashy boxes are usually better. That's what it looks like, and it has some features and whatnot on it. Everything that you would need and not really anything that you wouldn't, so it's a good box. Let's get this opened up here. As far, it's been pretty easy to open. Oh, brother. Ha! That's complicated. Well, at least they included the diagram. And we got some instructions here. Oh, yeah. Well, they definitely spend some time on how this goes together. Good grief. So here's the waterproof phone. This is not anywhere near as heavy as the Union one is, but it feels pretty strong. This is somewhat of a rubbery material on the side, so it's got a decent grip to it. It's definitely not that slick plastic, at least. The buttons have a good feedback to them. These buttons are kind of weird. They don't press down, they kind of press in. Not sure I like that. Okay, so they all have a good feedback. They're consistent. The belt clip, that's really concerning. This feels very flimsy. The Union belt clip it'll pop off if you drop the phone and it hits on the belt clip at the right angle, but the clip itself is never going to break. This is extremely flimsy, and you can see it just flexes with almost no effort. And this doesn't, well, it looks like, I guess it can be replaced, but it doesn't look like it'd be easily replaced. I don't even know if this is sold separately. So that's kind of concerning. And I use the belt clip all the time, so if the belt clip is not reliable, then this would not be a viable alternative to the Union models. You know, this could last 50 years, who knows. I'm just saying offhand, I'm not impressed with the build quality of that clip at all. Now this has the headset jack, which is nice. However, that means it's not going to be quite as waterproof as the other one is, because this doesn't seal that tightly. So I would think if this really got saturated, that could be a problem. I don't think this is advertised as submersible. It's just waterproof, which is fine. I don't usually have a situation where it would get submerged, but it is kind of nice to know that it can be dropped in a body of water and float, because we do have the water out front. So here's the belt clip, the battery compartment. It's got a rubber seal along the outside, and this kind of closes up and fits nicely. It opens and closes pretty easily. There's the charging contacts. Hopefully those are made out of a metal that doesn't rust. Got a light on top of it. That's kind of cool. I actually would use it all the time because I talk on a phone outside at night quite often, and this would be my go-to phone at that time. So, alright, mixed feelings about that. Belt clip is definitely not impressive. Otherwise, it has a pretty nice feel to it. The light's pretty cool. So, we'll have to use that to get a better idea of just how good it is. Power cord here. Batteries. Now, these are the batteries, the black tops. They used to have white tops, and I believe the ones with the white tops were made in Japan. I think these are made in China. Actually, I think it says it right on the box. Okay, yeah, it says made in Malaysia, AC adapter made in China, batteries made in China. Now, an appliance is only as reliable as its cheapest part. And so you make the battery, which is a critical component, made in China, and you make the power adapter, which is also a critical component, made in China. That's disappointing. Okay, we have a wall mount. I'll hold on to that, but I'm not going to use that instantaneously. You have a nice, thick instruction manual here. Waterproof, dustproof, shock resistant, headset jack, handy belt clip, built-in flashlight. Okay, so worry free. It even floats. Oh, okay, so it does float, and I guess it is submersible then, because if it floats, it would have gotten submerged. Okay, so that's pretty good then. This is an advertisement. This is a nice thick manual, and the whole thing is in the English too. It's not even thick because it's multiple languages. This one, no, it's all in it's all English. So this is a really good manual. It's getting kind of rare to have a nice thick paper manual included with products. I like that. I'd much rather sit there and read a piece of paper than read it on the computer. Okay. Now, continuing on here, at some point we're going to hit a point of no return with getting this back in the box. Yeah, I think it's safe to say this is probably never going to go back in the box. The AC adapter, which is made in China, is permanently attached to the cradles, which I don't like for reasons of storage convenience. But I suppose in a normal use case where you're not storing the phone, it's always in service, it probably doesn't matter. It has somewhat of a rubbery feet on the front. It's very lightweight though, and I think the weight of the cord would probably drag it right off the table. Same thing to be said about this cradle. It's very lightweight, and even though it does have those rubbery feet on the front, it's so light that it probably would just get dragged right off the table by the cord. And here's the regular handsets. And it's all that high gloss plastic, which I never quite understood the design of that, because it gets dirty really quickly. The back doesn't have that rubbery thing on there, which I kind of liked. No belt clip, no headset jack, so this is really a bare bones handset. But actually, despite the lack of the rubber, it still feels like it's got a good grip to it. It's not that slick plastic that a lot of things are made of now. And here's handset number 2. Same thing. Belt clip, the battery cover's a hair loose on that one. And this one is pretty good. I think all that's left is the base. I know there's something else on the phone cord. A million of those. And here's the base. And again, you would go with that stinking shiny plastic. You see the dust on there in 10 minutes. Alright, so let's move all this packaging aside. I gotta figure out how to jam all that back into the box somehow. And let's take a look at the phones themselves. Alright, so these are the phones. The lighting isn't the greatest in here, but anyways, so these are all regular buttons. Kind of small, but still usable. The buttons on the handset are a decent size. They're spaced out enough that it can still be pressed accurately. The off button is kind of set in, which is good so you don't accidentally press it. The rest of the buttons aren't like that. These have a decent feel to them. I don't like the sound of that. That's just, it feels kind of cheap, you know, compared to like this Uniden phone, for instance. It's got that nice solid feel to it, and it sounds solid too. This sounds really cheap. It's like hollow plastic, and it doesn't quite lock into place very nicely. It's still kind of loose. You know, this one is, it's solid in there. So, not thrilled with the feel of that base. This is generally kind of hollow and I don't know. Not impressed with that. I know some people are like, who cares? It makes a difference as far as the user experience goes with the phone. You go to hang it up and it makes a creaky plastic sound. That's not too reassuring. And if you put it back in a cradle and it, you know, sounds like a brick hitting the floor and it's sturdy, to me that's a lot better. The waterproof phone, again, it's a hollow plastic sound, but it's a little bit sturdier in there. It's not going to fall over. This is totally easily going to go over if you knock this at all. So that's not made too well. It's more the same. It just doesn't fit in the cradles real nicely. So, anyways, seems okay. The waterproof phone, other than the belt clip, yeah, it seems pretty good. I'd like it to be a little bit heavier, but otherwise it's a decent size. It's got a good grip to it. Hopefully that belt clip holds up. Hopefully the performance is good. We're going to test this out. We're going to put it in the sink and get it wet, make sure it floats and everything. Not impressed with the design of this. Hopefully the performance will make up for that cheap feel of the chargers. So that's that, the Panasonic KX-TGD560 or 563, whatever it was. Here was the model number. Oh, they're totally wrong. KX-TGD583. I'm looking at this here. And ironically enough, this does not have the 583 in the list of models. Okay. Anyways, that's the unboxing of these phones. We're going to have a number of more videos to come on this set soon.